Hello and welcome to our video on how the human brain works. The brain is a remarkable organ that is responsible for controlling every single thing we do, whether we're aware of it or not. It's the command center of the body, and without it, we simply wouldn't be able to survive. Neurons and neural communication. How the brain processes information. The brain is made up of cells called neurons, which work together to control everything we think, feel, and do. Neurons communicate with each other by sending messages through electrical and chemical signals. Imagine that neurons are like people talking on the phone. When one person speaks, they send an electrical signal down the phone line, which is like an action potential in a neuron. The signal reaches the other person on the line, who listens and responds with their own message. This response is like the release of neurotransmitters from one neuron to another. Just like different people might speak different languages or have different things to say, different neurons in the brain are specialized for different types of communication. Some neurons might be responsible for processing visual information, while others might be involved in controlling movement or regulating emotions. Neuroplasticity. How the brain adapts and learns, refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to experiences. Neuroplasticity is a crucial mechanism that underlies learning and memory, and it allows the brain to form new connections between neurons, strengthen existing connections, or weaken connections that are no longer needed. Neuroplasticity can occur at various levels of the nervous system, from the molecular and cellular level to the level of brain networks. It is influenced by a variety of factors, including environmental stimuli, genetic factors, and behavior. Research has shown that neuroplasticity plays a role in a wide range of cognitive and behavioral processes, including language learning, motor skill acquisition, and recovery from brain damage. For example, learning a new skill such as playing a musical instrument can lead to changes in the brain's structure and function, as new connections are formed between neurons in the relevant brain areas. Understanding neuroplasticity is important not only for understanding how the brain works, but also for developing strategies to enhance learning and promote recovery from brain injuries and disorders. Researchers are actively investigating ways to harness neuroplasticity to develop new therapies for neurological conditions such as stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. The cerebral cortex, higher-level functions and Lobe-Specific roles. The cerebral cortex is the outermost layer of the brain and is responsible for many higher-level functions such as thinking, language, and decision-making. It is divided into four main lobes: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe, each with its own specific functions. The frontal lobe, located at the front of the brain, is involved in decision-making, planning, and personality. It plays a key role in the ability to think abstractly, make plans for the future, and understand the consequences of actions. The parietal lobe, located at the top and back of the brain, is responsible for processing sensory information from the body, such as touch, pain, and temperature. It helps us understand the physical world around us and our position in it. The temporal lobe, located on the side of the brain, is involved in memory and language comprehension. It plays a key role in the ability to recognize faces and objects, understand spoken language, and store and retrieve long-term memories. The occipital lobe, located at the back of the brain, is responsible for processing visual information from the eyes. It helps us to see, recognize, and interpret visual information from the world around us. Understanding the specific functions of each lobe and how they work together is crucial to understanding the overall workings of the brain. By exploring the roles of each lobe, we can better understand how the brain processes information, forms memories, and produces behavior. The limbic system, emotions, memory, and motivation. The limbic system is a collection of brain structures located deep within the brain, including the amygdala, hippocampus, thalamus, hypothalamus, and basal ganglia. These structures work together to regulate various aspects of our emotional and behavioral responses to stimuli in the environment. One of the key functions of the limbic system is emotional processing. The amygdala, for example, is responsible for processing emotions such as fear, anger, and pleasure. It helps us recognize and respond to emotional cues in our environment, which can be critical for survival. Another important function of the limbic system is memory formation and recall. The hippocampus, in particular, is involved in forming new memories and retrieving old ones. Without the hippocampus, we would struggle to remember new information or recall past events. Finally, The limbic system plays a role in motivation and reward processing. The basal ganglia, for example, helps us learn and repeat behaviors that are associated with positive outcomes, such as eating, drinking, or engaging in other pleasurable activities. Overall, the limbic system is a complex network of brain structures that help regulate many important aspects of our behavior and emotional experiences. Understanding how these structures work together can provide insights into why we feel and behave the way we do in certain situations. 5. The brainstem. Vital functions and sleep-wake regulation. The brainstem is responsible for controlling many of our vital functions, including breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and digestion. It also plays a critical role in regulating our sleep-wake cycle and level of arousal. Some specific structures within the brainstem include the medulla oblongata, which controls automatic functions like breathing and heart rate, the pons, which helps regulate breathing and sleep, and the midbrain, which is involved in vision, hearing, and motor control. Damage to the brainstem can be life-threatening, as it can disrupt the body's ability to perform essential functions. For example, a brainstem stroke can cause paralysis or even death. In addition, disorders of the brainstem can lead to problems with sleep, breathing, and other bodily functions. Understanding the brainstem is important for understanding how the brain works as a whole, and for understanding the effects of brain injuries and diseases. In a YouTube video on this topic, you could explore the role of the brainstem in more detail, including its connections to other parts of the brain and the ways in which it helps regulate our body and behavior. 6. Exploring the frontiers of neuroscience. Current research and future directions. In recent years, neuroscience has made significant strides in understanding the neural basis of behavior, cognition, and emotions. For example, researchers have identified specific neural pathways that are involved in processes like decision-making, memory, and language processing. They have also discovered that the brain is capable of remarkable plasticity, which means that it can reorganize itself in response to changes in the environment or in response to injury. One exciting area of neuroscience research is the study of brain-computer interfaces (BCIs). BCI are devices that allow individuals to control computers or other machines using their thoughts by directly interfacing with the brain. This technology has the potential to transform the lives of people with disabilities by allowing them to control prosthetic limbs or other assistive devices with greater precision and ease. Finally, neuroscience research is also exploring the mysteries of human consciousness, that is, how the brain gives rise to our subjective experience of the world. This is a particularly challenging area of research, but one that holds great promise for helping us to understand what makes